Soggy Science here. Number 20. 20. Making progress. Wow. Full week. Some good news and some not so good news this week. New Caledonia. Awesome news. Awesome news. One of the world's biggest marine protected areas. Way to go, guys. And it's in the Coral Sea, which is one of the most abundant and diverse and important areas of the world. So that's exciting news. It's 1.3 million square kilometers. And New Caledonia is controlled by the French government. They're a protectorate Commonwealth country. And this brings their total of all their territorial waters, 16% of them are protected. It's good stuff. So hopefully we'll get some good data and see how big areas of protection help abundance and diversity. Remember last week, I got really close to the camera and said, using civilian divers to dive on the Korean ferry might not be the best idea? A lot of them not trained public safety divers. Not the best choice. Well, really sad news. Civilian diver died on the salvage efforts. This is why it's not a good idea. Had no commercial certificates, no training in commercial salvage or wreck or overhead penetration diving. Lee Kwan Ok, 53, lost his life this week I should say. Coast Guard is blaming the Marine Salvager Company. The Marine Salvager Company is blaming the Coast Guard, and it's their fault. Really sad. So, yes, it's a tragedy. Yes, it's a massive scale operation, but better to take it slower, use qualified people, and even then there can still be fatalities. So, Wounded Marine, Korean Coast Guard, please modify your protocols, and let's try to get closure for the families without creating more tragedy for new families. Anyway, hopefully lessons learned and everybody remains safe. Be safe out there, guys. Cape Cod. Dun 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 da da da. Out of a scene from Jaws, they've put out a safety brochure about how to mitigate negative shark behavior to educate the public, because more sightings are happening off Cape Cod of great whites. The Chamber of Commerce doesn't like it. Everybody seems to be playing nicely, but it's an interesting development straight out of the movies. But Chamber of Commerce and everybody wants to avoid some hysterical headline that just isn't true. So hopefully it's proactive, and in the long run it's a good thing. But definitely interesting shark news for this week. Wow. Newfoundland, Canada. What do you do when you have a whale carcass that washes up and you can't afford to do anything with it? Well, for Cape St. George, you put it on eBay. Well, eBay doesn't allow the sale of marine mammals, no matter how they got onto the site or are trying to be disposed of or whatever. The provincial government of Canada didn't like that either, which, for good reason, we're protecting marine mammals around the world. However, they can't afford to do anything with it, so it sits and it rots. Hoping a museum comes and wants to salvage the skeleton or something. But interesting development. I'm sorry, it's not that funny, but it is funny. So now they're trying to give it away for free. But don't put your marine mammal carcasses on eBay. They won't make it. They'll be shut down. Oh, Lord. And Peter Fenwick, the mayor, is basically shrugging his shoulders and going, we don't have the funds to deal with it. So he got creative. I can give him that. Good luck, guys. I hope you solve your whale problem. It's sad that we have a sperm whale washed up on the beach, but it is an awfully big problem if you end up with one. And in Canada, the local government is responsible for whatever washes up on their beaches and having to pay for it. So the federal government's not helping out. There's been some blue whales that had some issues around them too. Anyway, on the crazy photography mode, CJ Kale, got in the water and then the surf and did a Clark Little on lava entering the surf zone in Hawaii. Whew. Nutty stuff. It's crazy. Oy. Anyway, back in the news, it looks like Illinois and New York are going to pass legislation to ban and control microbeads in cleansers, toothpaste. Feel your cleansers. If it feels a little gritty, like there's little pieces of sand in it, those are plastic microbeads. And one cleanser can have 3 million of them in them. And it's polluting our waterways. It's the number one plastic pollution in the Great Lakes. Again, check out Five Gyres, great group. They're the ones helping with the legislation. You can get involved. Some good citizen science efforts there. So check them out. Good job, guys. And hopefully those laws will get passed very soon. James Cameron, news on his Deep Sea Challenger 3D film. It's going to be out in August. It's exciting. Can't wait to see it. Good friend of Soggy Science. Good luck to you. Not that you need it, but it'll be finally fun to see what you saw down there and how it went. Had some good friends actually in the Challenger sub at Woods Hole checking out the sub. So this week, really cool stuff. Looking forward to that. Chinese government in the South China Sea. Oh boy. Well, they're putting an oil rig in disputed territory with Vietnam. And the Chinese rammed a Vietnam boat. According to the Chinese, the Vietnam boat rammed the Chinese boat. This will be the Vietnam Coast Guard. It's not military, but the Chinese have military there. So more territorial disputes. I think a month and a half ago it was the Philippines with territorial disputes. Now the Vietnam area. So natural resource fight. It's only going to get worse. So be really probably not so interesting to see how it develops, but it will continue. Oh, let's play nice, people. Oh. And on more happy news locally here in California, good friend of Soggy Science, Chris Lowe, head of the Shark Lab at my alma mater, Long Beach State, Cal State Long Beach, is presenting next week on the increase of white sharks in our local area, because Southern California is a nursery for white shark pups. The big females come down and they give birth here, and we're seeing increased numbers. So that's exciting news. And he speculates that it's because we've been taking better care of the water here, which is true. So last week we had increased fishing numbers and recovery of some local fish populations to a sustainable level. And now we're seeing apex predators coming back. And when you see more babies, it means the population is definitely healthy. And it's a good reflection on some good things happening. So not always bad news. Way to go, Chris. And if I was in town, I'd check it out. Anyway, thank you for suggestions. Check us out on social media for our daily updates. And get out in the water, get wet, and get soggy.